This is how I almost got expelled from school at 12 years old. Hello everyone, I'm Sockley, and this is my story of how I nearly got expelled from middle school at 6th grade. I know this isn't the type of content I normally do, but as my channel grows, I want to try out different forms of content, so we'll see how this goes. In background, I was in 6th grade at the time, which for me was middle/intermediate school that was supposed to be special since it was designed for accelerated learners. However, the school was also required to accept students zoned in the nearby neighborhood, which isn't inherently good or bad, just that the school budget wasn't great, all the teachers were pretty much constantly burnt out, and the students had formed their own cliques just to survive other more aggressive cliques. This is just to say that the school was pretty standard for a middle school in the US, though the principal would have held her head high that the school was in fact the stuff. Now, this incident happened with one student in particular, whom we will call Joe for the sake of anonymity, and of course with me. Joe and I had a great friendship for most of the year. I would say that we were best friends, just that he was a bit of a nerd and I was still finding my love for academics. We bonded through jokes and we always stuck together in the halls and cafeteria. However, as the year progressed and we developed as our own people, I began to lose interest in our friendship. On the other hand, it seemed like Joe had grown even more interested in me. His sudden interest, alongside my own disinterest, rapidly unraveled the friendship we once had. It started with me not showing much interest in our conversations, letting it get quiet, which progressed to me pretending to be busy with my phone or something whenever I'd see him in the halls or in class. He noticed pretty quickly, and he asked me why I was avoiding him. It caught me off guard since he was so upfront with it, and honestly, I didn't have an answer. Something about him just started to rub me the wrong way, and it wasn't exactly personal, just that I was becoming someone different than the guy who was his best friend. A quick "I don't know" and escaping to my next class worked for the first few times, but quickly I noticed that losing our friendship was much harder on him than it was on me, since his asking turned to pleading, almost begging to know why I didn't want to be his friend anymore. I think this was because I had other friends that I planned on leaning towards, but he didn't. I kept thinking that I should try and go explain myself or stick around with him longer just so he wasn't alone, but there seemed to be something darker underneath his sadness for our friendship ending. There was a resentment, a growing hatred. Looking back a few years later, I realized that he was most likely suffering from anxiety and/or depression, which was a disheartening thought, but you have to know that I was also going through my own personal issues, and I was just doing what I thought was right for myself. What happened next, though, is not something I'm proud of, and I ended up hurting him and everyone else around me, destroying all the friendships I had at the time and landing myself in a very angry principal's office. Part 2 coming soon.